Oh, hello. Happy Tuesday on close to my bedtime, honestly. Here we are for Delve Requisite. So let's kick this thing off in traditional fashion and spend the next like 10 or 15 minutes talking about Arby's.
You mean roast beefs?
Roast beefs. This week, Delve Requisite is brought to you not by roast beefs, but by Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle, which does bring me to a special announcement that we do have that isn't related to Arby's and is a real one for once. This week, we are doing something special. Let me get my head copy up here. Okay, so Cardboard Castle Games, they are doing a special special fundraiser that we are participating for. The Cardboard Castle Games, it's Spooky to be Hungry. Or I guess rather, Cardboard Castle Games is participating in It's Spooky to be Hungry. That makes more sense, right? Yeah, you think I could read this off of this paper, but that is something that we're going to help them participate in by collecting money here on stream, by including beneath our video here on Twitch. There's a little ghost logo there. You can click on that to donate via PayPal to that cause, to help donate to help fight hunger. That's a lovely thing if you are able to commit any little bit, of course. If not, do not worry about it. We're just happy that you're here with us. Per DM Michael's idea to me, he has given me the idea that what we're going to do during tonight is we're going to allow you at home to use that donation button as a means with which you can help our players. So here's what I don't know what Michael did, but here's what I think I'm going to do. DM Michael, I believe, is in chat on standby watching the phone boards to let us know when a donation comes in. And if a donation comes in, I think that is going to be a free natural 20 that can be given to one of the players on a roll during tonight's stream that they can use as they so choose. So, you guys are probably going to have to help me out by keeping an eye on chat as well, so that if Michael tells us we've gotten a donation, you can keep your tabs on that, and then we'll figure out some system of figuring out who donated, and then they can decide who gets a free Nat 20 to use during tonight's episode. That is what we're going to do. So thank you to Cardboard Castle Games and Little Dragon Corp, our sponsors. Do all the things that you normally do. ! Little Dragon point, ! Little Dragon, ! CCG, and of course the little ghosty beneath the video here to go to the link where you can donate to Cardboard Castle Games' fundraiser for It's Spooky to be Hungry. Let's launch into it before we get any is it just me? Well, like,
yes.
Is there like an is there like an outline of like a face on whatever Jason's got covering his camera? Oh, I see. Okay. It was freaking me out for a second there. It's still freaking me out, but I guess
I should have said no.
So we're going to dive right into the episode, and hopefully the insufferable nonsense that is currently sidetracking Jason ends sooner rather than later, because it's going to be a wild attempt at a game mechanic right off the bat here if he has to half-ass it. Anyway, recap from last time. You guys retook the island of Glassau from the Ignean Empire, where you knew there to be another. We've been calling it a Star Spire, though technically I kind of realized that's not technically accurate, right? Star Spire is the name of the tower that they call it in Mythlanday. Just so happens that like that thing is the aperture for this like giant teleportation thing. So for lack of a better term, because we don't know what the official title of these things are, we've just kind of defaulted to calling them all Star Spires. But there is another one. There was one beneath the island of Glassau, which with the help of Willow, you guys went and found. Curtis obviously is still not joining us tonight, so we don't know whether or not Osrius gazed into the future with Droplet. Most of the rest of the group refrained, with the exception of Alar, who looked into the future and gazed to see the fate of his sister, as well as the others who have passed in all of the time since the cataclysm shook Egeria free from the multiverse. And he saw a vision of a sea full of new stars reappearing in the night sky. With that, you used the power of the supercharged ghost lantern that Moxum, Walter's patron, provided you in order to power the device. And we ended our session as you guys essentially were like broken down into your constituent matter and translocated up and into the sky. So that is where we're going to re-begin our session tonight.
I got a spooky green light.
Sure, you're dead. Everybody dies. Campaign's over.
Hooray!
Good work.
We did it.
I had to just straight up delete over 300 pages of notes. Somebody was gonna die for that. I'm just saying.
Alrighty. So.
Hey, we received a $13 donation.
Hey.
Point of order, that was me. I did that before you discussed the mechanics, so...
That's okay,
Yeah,
that still
what's
counts.
it?
That's your money. You use it. You can give a nat 20 to whoever you want, including yourself. Which is a mechanic much... If ever there was a night for Curtis to be here, right, where he could give himself gold in real life...
And nat 20s.
No. Hell no. Still counts. If you donated $13, you give somebody a nat 20.
Oh god, why did you give me this power?
Well...
I'd rather
Technically,
be
you
in your
did.
hands.
Tonight on Delph Requisite, Adam goes broke, donating to give himself...
Tonight on Delph Requisite, Adam goes broke, and then man with power.
Yeah.
That's guys. I just need a little, just need a little advantage. Just take the edge off.
All right, who's getting it?
Yeah.
Give it to Brom. His
Hey,
roll
let me
sucked.
let me just tell you this. Not that I want you to do this, but just so you are aware, Curtis is not here. We are treating Osrius as if he is here, and I'm gonna play him for tonight because he needs to be here for some of this stuff. But
Okay,
you should definitely not give me a fake natural 20 to give to Osrius. I just wanted to make that point of order while we're
No,
while we're
I
doing setup here.
was counting, Brom, Rowan.
Some spells are
Walter.
more entertaining when they're nat 20s, I think.
Walter.
I was going to say, Rowan will use it for good. Brom will
Yes.
use it for bullshit.
And
think we
Walter
all
will
already
use it to
know.
save his life.
Which saves most of ours, so there.
That's what you think.
Shut up, Walter.
Rowan will use it for good. Walter will use it for bullshit. Brom will use it for bullshit that works.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm gonna have to make just a clip video of all the times Jason reveals himself on this stream.
Oh, the
Phrasing.
we're sick. The planar merchant is a thing that at least in our game has never manifested itself.
It only manifests like once, so like once we get hit, that doesn't matter what game it's on.
Oh,
Hey, speaking of,
We
aren't we
discussed this last night in
aren't we
Dragonbane.
floating in
We
space?
got
right
a
Hey,
now?
another
25
donation.
page donut, $25 donut.
Hey.
Not me. Not me.
Whoever in chat was kind enough to donate, please signify who you want to get the nat 20. Not
And
Walter,
thank
he already
you.
has one. And thank you very much, and we love you.
Actually, give me 2 more because I have 3 Eldritch Blast Beams.
No.
Keep being greedy. We'll take them away retroactively.
No, that wasn't a request.
That was a
Hey,
demand.
Whoppers, are we floating in space? Are we choking on space air?
Yeah. So Walter
Oh, you guys
has
are choking-
a
you guys are
nat
choking on
20.
space
Somebody
air.
else will get a nat 20. We just don't know who yet. Sound of music by Sirenscape. Incorrect. That's somebody else's ad. Get that shit off of our stream. Anyway, you're not choking in space. You have been
Freezing in space.
not that either. You
That's how space
have
works.
been broken down into essentially like your constituent atoms. However, you find that like you sort of retain still your sense of self, your perception, your like senses around you. Rowan, it's very similar to when you guys turned into fog clouds.
Windwalk, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a very similar feeling where like you like dissolve into a non-physical sort of like incorporeal particulate form, but you still like can see and sense everything around you. And as you guys continue to rise, you see the island of Glassau drops away beneath you, getting smaller and smaller. You see the ocean stretch out around it. You see the other islands that make up the Iolcus archipelago stretching out in the distance. As you get higher and higher, you see the eastern shore of Orahol. The shape of the Gulf of Honorand takes shape. You get higher and higher, and you begin to see more and more. You can see pinpricks of amber light, which represent little bastions of civilization, pockets of towns. In the distance, eventually, you see what must be the larger collection of illumination that represents Umiath Durai, the elven city on the easternmost tip of the continent. You begin to rise higher and higher and higher, and more of the world becomes visible, stretching out before you, until you find that you are getting so high that you begin to be able to see the very curvature of the planet beneath you. Take that, flat earthers.
Hey, we're on a plane. Planes are flat. Why is this round?
My atoms hit Walter's atoms.
There you go.
The mustache Adams, no.
Oh no! I got the nat 20.
I can't even get mad at her because she's a wonderful lady.
Anyway.
She just picked a side. That's all, Michael.
Yeah, you've chosen a side, and it was the winning side. Correct. Anyway, where were we? You're flying into space. You see like all of the continent of Orahol like stretch out into the horizon. Off to the east, you see like the ocean, the expanse of the ocean stretches out further than you can see, and eventually you rise so high that you begin to reach the upper limits of the atmosphere, and you see the planet's rings above you begin to like loom closer and closer, still hundreds of miles away probably, but you can start to make out like, instead of just a sort of a single band that you have seen for all of your life, you see that it takes on a complexity that you never would have noticed before without the use of a telescope. It is comprised of billions of individual stones and rocks and pebbles and debris all floating around the planet in this ring. And as you look down, you see that you've risen so high, and your sense of motion begins to become confused as gravity sort of seems to become less of a force, giving you a consistent sense of down as it was before. And whether it is that you begin to hurtle eastward, or whether it is the planet physically spinning beneath you, or a combination of both, it's hard to tell. But from your perspective, it almost appears as if Orhol, the continent on which you have spent your entire lives, were born and raised, and until perhaps just this moment would have presumed that maybe you would die on before ever leaving, starts to recede around the curvature of the horizon away from you. And an expanse of ocean greets you coming up from the other direction. As this turning of the world beneath you continues, you are reminded, fools who were present for this part of the adventure, of the skimming that you did on a book that you came into contact with, a treatise on the properties of translocative magic, and you're reminded of the ill-fated wizard that created the arcane theorems which allowed the modern understanding of teleportation magic to come about. You remember his fatal teleportation, which failed to account for the curvature of the planet, and dropped him from a very, very far height to his death when he came out. And thinking about that, you kind of get this sense that perhaps what you're experiencing now is some sort of an older, sort of parallel design to what translocative magic could have been. This is not the magic of teleportation where you open a mystical gateway which sends you from one place to the other, skipping the intervening space. You are very much traveling through real space, this vast amount of distance. And as the horizon rolls around to meet you, you see rising up the dark swarm of a massive storm front. You see, stretching what must be thousands of miles across from the ocean floor all the way to the upper borders of the atmosphere, a single solitary storm. And as it rapidly seems to rush around the horizon and come racing towards you from your perspective, you see that it's not made of the violent collisions of air and moisture and rising and falling temperatures that normal storms are created of. It seems to be made of magic. You see primal magics raging, arcs of lightning and turbulent clouds, swaths of angry red and purples, blues and magentas screaming across the surface of this storm front. It almost seems as if it's going to overtake you as it rushes towards you, but you kind of find that you rise high above it, and it begins to pass beneath you. And what you see is that in the center of this massive storm, there is an eye, point of calm. Everybody can go ahead and make me a perception check at this point.
I would like to use my nat 20.
Okay. With your nat 20, Walter, what you perceive...
For a total of 20.
For a total of 20. You see that, like, as your motion kind of stops, or at least your, what you kind of now glean to be like forward momentum arrests, and you come kind of to stop above the eye of this storm. You you get the sense that this storm is unlike a normal storm, which would move around. This storm is in a fixed point, like smack in the middle of the large Great Sea, off almost on the other side of the planet from Egeria.
The part where it says dragons are there.
The part where it says here there be dragons. Yes. The part where everybody thought it was just like a little diagram of a maelstrom for like decoration on the eastern side of a map. Like, no, apparently it's a real one. You get the sense that this thing is in a fixed position here, and it is of course natural that like you would be drawn to like look downward towards this massive thing beneath you. But you find with that nat 20 that you're kind of drawn to take a peek, like, well, what's beyond that? And you look further to the east, and you see just the very tip on the horizon of an unfamiliar coastline. You see what must be, as far as you can determine, the legendary and far off continent of Matravath, Egeria's other major landmass. And as it makes its one and only appearance in this campaign, we move on. So, Adam's waving.
Yeah.
Is he waving?
Alar's Adams are waving at the continent that we will
He's
never
waving
see.
at Matravath.
It's like the International Space Station going over Australia. It's like,
Yep.
hello, goodbye.
You're there, probably full of poisonous snakes. You guys realize that you're beginning to descend. It seems almost as if, like, the storm is this colossal beast, and the eye of the storm is like a maw that is rising up to engulf you. And you drop back down towards the surface of the planet. The walls of the storm inside this eye seem to like rise up and envelop you around you. And you can tell that you guys are beginning to like reform. You feel yourselves come back together. And you start to take physical shape. You are still miles above the ground, and you are descending right in the middle of this eye of the storm, but you are now once again like in your physical bodies. You realize that you like a little bit have some kind of control over your momentum, to a certain degree, but not so much that you're able to arrest this gradual and rapidly speeding up descent that you are making. Once you fully take your physical forms, you see that there is like an aura of that blue-green spectral magic from the lanterns. It is like wrapped around you. The power of this star spire seems to be like holding this power to you, and you get the sense that it is being like burned off like fuel to control your descent. The next thing that you guys realize as you begin to like get lower and lower, you get more of a sense of perspective about your speed. And you realize that though you're clearly under control, you are moving quite fast. You also realize that the path of descent below you, in the eye of this storm, is not a open expanse of sky. There are all sorts of chunks of like debris and landmass and stone, and you as you like descend, you see like part of an ancient destroyed ship, all in like this column leading up into the sky, seem to be like suspended in midair. And as you begin to descend, Brahm, a like you kind of like fly past, and like a small rock like this, maybe like only yay big, sort of like pings off of your cheek, and like a very small kind of like line of blood is drawn, and you guys realize that like as you are descending, there is a very real possibility of dashing yourselves against the stuff in your way. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the music.
I would like to revise my natural 20 usage.
Tough shit! You used it to look at a continent that we're not going to see again.
Well, look, it needed to be done.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does fly work in space?
We'll find out, because here's what's going to happen. You guys are descending. You're coming down. You're essentially orbital dropping, right? You're not moving like lightning speed. You're being controlled by the fall of this magic. But you're coming down. There is all of this debris in the way. You see like occasional like cracks of that magical lightning is like forking across the eye of the storm here. I have essentially prepared a like skill check gauntlet as you guys descend. We're gonna do not really an initiative, but we're gonna do like rounds. And let me sort of just run you through the rules of this. Each round, you guys are going to have a roll to make and a choice to make. You are descending at a rate that is variable depending on the choices that you make. Your goal is going to be to reach a descent counter of 10. Each round, you will make an athletics or an acrobatics saving throw. I have a note in here, like if you can somehow come up with a way that a different type of saving throw, like skill check, would be applicable. If you convince me and it makes sense, you can use, something different if you want. But essentially, you're going to make a saving throw to avoid, like, smashing into a piece of rock or, like, debris or something, or getting hit by lightning on the way down. Before you make that saving throw, you're going to make a choice. That choice will affect what the DC of the saving throw is, and what happens. So the choices that you can make are you can accelerate, you can maneuver, or you can perceive. So the DC at its base rate is a DC 15. If you choose to accelerate, the DC gets 5 higher, so it becomes a DC 20. If you succeed, however, you increase your descent counter by 2 instead of by 1 for that round. If you maneuver, you will only descend by 1 that round, but the DC is lowered by 5, so it becomes a DC 10 instead of a DC 15 or a DC 20. If you choose to perceive, the DC just stays at that flat... Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a DC... DC 15. I have a mistypo in here, and I confuse myself. If you perceive, the DC stays at a 15 for that current round. You sort of like you can stall yourself momentarily in the air, which means you will not add anything to your descent that round. However, next round, your movement DC is automatically lowered by 5 because you like take a look at your surroundings and plan your route. So like the acceleration, instead of going up to a DC 20, would stay at DC 15, or a maneuvers roll would go down to a DC 5, essentially. Does that make sense so far? The other thing about perception is there might be interesting stuff to be found amidst the things that will be hurtling past you on your way down. A natural 20 automatically doubles whatever your descent counter was going to be. That so if you choose to accelerate and then roll a nat 20, you descend 4 that round. General, applicable to all that stuff. Does that make enough sense that as we start it, you think you're good?
Yep.
Okay. This was the mechanic that I said I don't know how we handle if Jason's not able to talk.
It makes enough sense that I know exactly what I'm going to do for as soon as I can actually talk.
Okay.
But I'm
Alright.
moments away from being able to talk.
Moments away. Okay. Well.
For safety's sake, I'm going to perceive on my first round, and I'm going to, like, whatever my first round happens to be, I'm going to perceive.
Okay. I'm not going to do like an initiative order because I don't think that makes sense, right? We just have everybody act together, right? So I will do my best to keep track of your descent counters on my end, but
I'll do it too.
try and keep track of your own shit as best as you're able.
All right.
So round 1, what would everybody like to do?
Round 1, I would like to activate Blade Song since it gives me advantage on acrobatics checks. I liken it to how Sherlock Holmes can predict what an opponent was doing in that Robert Downey Jr. Movie.
Okay.
So it basically all of a sudden he's like, eyes get a little bit more focused. He goes, okay, that's coming that way. That's going to hit. Don't know if I'm going to risk acceleration though. Yeah, what the hell?
All right, so Alar's going to accelerate. Rowan, Walter, we said is going to perceive. Rowan and Brom, what are you guys doing?
I'm also gonna perceive.
Okay. What do you guys want Oz to do? Because he is part of this as well.
He is the luckiest bastard in the world. So yeah, have him perceive.
Okay.
I know part of it is, he keeps giving himself 5 gold, but
Sure. All right. And Brom, what are you going to do?
Is there the option to do other things besides
Yes. If you want to, like, cast a spell or whatever, like, just say it.
what I'm going to do? Is I'm just going to cast message because I'm essentially like using a cantrip to see if magic works
Okay.
where we are.
Okay. What are you saying with your message? Who are you sending it to?
I'll message Rowan and just be like, check, test. This is a test.
Do I hear Brom?
Yes, you do.
In space?
You guys are low enough that you're not in space anymore.
Okay.
You're
I'm
just
flying
very
in
high.
space.
You're Felix Baumgartnering it right now. Like you've passed back into the atmosphere and you are descending.
How high above the ground are we then?
Like airplane, jump out of an airplane height.
Cool.
And how big is the debris field?
Big.
So imagine, right, that you are in the eye of this storm is maybe a mile across. So any direction that you look, you are essentially in a cylinder, the walls of which are a, like, brutally, like, definitely instantaneous death invoking storm. Right? That was why you had to use this method to get here, because that is impassable from any other approach, right? So essentially you are funneled into this cylinder that goes from space where you can't survive to the ground where you need to get. And the entirety of that cylinder is like a big floating rock obstacle course with debris. And you see like massive hunks of like stone and bedrock. Like I said, you see broken ships, like warships. As you're like flying, you see there's like skeletons wearing like armor and stuff like mixed up in here. It's as if like whatever was like in this area got hucked into the air and then froze there. So there's not like it encompasses the entire area that you're in.
Who is closest to me, or is roughly anybody is?
I think everybody's
close to me?
probably, you guys are all probably sort of like descending, you're maybe 30, 40 feet from each other in any given direction. At least for now, as you start to descend, you'll probably fan out.
I'm going to attempt something that may vaguely break everything.
Okay.
I'm going to grab whoever's closest, or whoever wants to go. And I'm going to just dimension door the full 500 feet into like a clear space 500 feet lower.
Okay. That's interesting.
It doesn't get me through the whole thing, but it gets me a decent
Here's
chunk
what
of
I
Don't grab
think.
Walter.
I think we'll say, right? Because, you're burning like a decent spell slot for that.
4th level spell slot.
So I say I'm still going to make you make a check. Because you have to make this calculation of like where to enter and where to exit on the fly as you're falling. We'll call it a...
Perception.
Probably either a wisdom or an intelligence based check. Perception's probably fine to make a perception check. We'll call
You
it.
sure it's not a dexterity check?
Now I think this specifically has got to be like, right, because you've got to, like, you're doing these like snap calculations. Well, no, you know what? Here's what we'll say, right? This is spellcasting, right? This is you're channeling your magic to do this. So like you're not a wizard. You don't do math in your head to figure out how your spells work. You do it by gut. You do it by feel. You feel the groove. This is bard magic. So use it. Make a performance check.
Oh,
You're not doing this with technical proficiency. You're doing this with fucking style. And are you taking anybody with you?
Yeah. What kind of a?
I want to say take Oz.
Yeah,
take
who's,
Oz.
Yeah,
Oz is
take
probably.
Oz.
You might be able to
Because he's
grab
the
some cool
biggest
stuff
target.
wherever you pop out.
Yeah, take off.
So it is a 23.
23, more than enough. So you grab Oz, and you dimension door, and in my mind's eye, what this looks like, right, is like you grab onto him, and like you guys are falling, and you cast this magic. So you basically like
Fall into it.
cast this magic, and like it like rips open beneath you, and you hurtle through it, disappear, and then like the identical one opens 500 feet below, and you plummet out of that one. We're gonna say Oz's DC for that round is negated. He just succeeds because you took him through this dimension door. And add 3 to your descent counter. Or add 4 to your descent counter. 1 for each level spell slot that it cost you to do that.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Okay. Alar, you're accelerating, right?
I'm glad I really enjoy that because I will not be doing it again.
Yeah, and I just the 20.
Got the
On
20.
the
Okay.
advantage.
All right. So
Yep.
you mark
So
2.
I rotated midair and
You pencil
skydive.
and you begin to descend. Rowan and Walter both said they're perceiving, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So you guys will not descend at all this round, but make me a perception check to see what you see.
That is a pretty good for Rowan. 16.
Okay.
Mine's in chat or in Discord.
11 for Walter.
11 for Walter. Okay. So Walter, you don't spot anything. You map out your kind of route that you're going to descend in. So you'll get the benefit for your next descent, but you don't see anything particular. Rowan, with a 16, roll a d10.
That's a 9.
A 9. As you are like paused up in the air and then like begin to drop again, you spot like sticking out from between like 2 pieces of like massive boulder that look like they like smashed together. You see the like ancient debris of what might have been like a ship or something like that. But something catches your eye as like you begin to like sort of descend past it. There's like a pair of skeleton feet like sticking out from between the two rocks, kind of like the Wicked Witch of the West. And on them are a pair of very like pristine looking boots.
I'm in space. This is weird. And Rowan's going to try to take the boots.
you just grab the boots as you fall. So you begin to fall. You have these you're descending. You look at them. There's definitely like bone feet still in them. you have these boots. You can like you tuck them away. Okay, I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna just mark that down.
I'm trying to get Alar's attention. Like, I stole something. I did it. And he's 2 levels below her.
No, Alar turns in midair. He gives you a thumbs up, and then.
Okay. Alrighty. Next round. So both Rowan and Walter, you guys get a -5 to the DC of whichever thing you choose to do this round. Brahm, Osrius, and Alar can decide what they want to do.
This round I will perceive, since I've given myself a little bit of shave room, and now I'm in the maelstrom. I'm starting to take it a bit more in.
Okay.
Walter, realizing the situation a little bit better.
I will. Let me say this, just so
away.
You can't perceive twice in a row because that would break.
No, that's fine. No, Walter's gonna say shovel away and start Silver Surfering with the shovel.
Okay.
On the way down to try to get a little bit.
Yeah, I think the silver. I think let's because Rom didn't cast it, but what I was gonna do, and we'll treat it the same. If you have a like flying ability, there's only so much you can do. Like this magic is pulling you down. So like you can't come to a stop in the air or fly up. But I think with a flying ability or your broom, I think that probably gives you like more ability to control yourself. So why don't we say that like a flying ability, like your broom, Osrius's boots, or if Brahm casts fly, will knock we'll say it knocks 2 off of the DC.
So do you want to change it to advantage, or do you want to change it to like a -2? Your choice.
I was gonna say -2, but advantage isn't a bad idea either. Let's say advantage. That makes sense.
We don't have to worry about actual math. Yeah.
Man, that's less math. That's easy. I like it. Okay. So what are you gonna do this round then with your shovel?
You remuted yourself, Jason.
He's voting. All right. Well, he's busy. What's Brahm gonna do?
Brahm will expend
Sorry.
2 charges of the Bandor to cast fly on myself and Oz.
That's fine. Oz has his boots, so he's fine without it.
Then I don't need to.
It doesn't matter, but you can put it on yourself.
So can I do that and do a thing, or is that like?
Yeah, no. You still have to choose what you're gonna like. That's
okay,
just a thing
I
you can do.
will accelerate.
You're gonna accelerate. Okay. So Alar's perceiving. Brahm is accelerating. What's Rowan doing?
Accelerating.
Accelerating. We don't know what Walter's doing yet. What do you guys want Oz to do?
He would probably also accelerate.
Okay. I'll have Oz accelerate. Alrighty. So with advantage.
What was the save?
You're shooting for a DC 20.
What kind of
athletics, acrobatics, anything that you can make the case that is like an appropriate roll. Oz gets an 18 plus thing, so he's
what about
fine.
Intimidation?
No, I don't think you can intimidate your way to
intimidate gravity.
I probably can't make the case for performance again.
I'm good.
I'll say acrobatics.
Normally, I was going to say normally I wouldn't. I would say no. However, something in my heart is reminding me of Buzz Lightyear and Falling with Style, and I do kind of like the idea that you can just like raise your way out of certain death.
All right.
Through falling.
I mean, you did just see Alar just suddenly go math brain and do that. It's like, I'm not going to be shown up by that nerd.
Advantage.
Come on.
To infinity and beyond. Okay, well, it's a 19 plus 12.
Okay,
So
so you and Oz are both at 6 descent.
I do
totals.
actually fly a little bit.
Okay,
So does that add 1 tally?
that adds 2 because you accelerated.
tallies.
So you're at 6 now.
Okay.
I got a 21 to accelerate
Okay,
down.
so you accelerate twice.
So now I'm only down 2.
So I have -5 for perceiving and advantage due to the flying with the broom.
What do
Or
you-
just
what do
advantage.
you-
I'm going to accelerate.
So you are making a DC 15 with advantage.
It's going to be I guess acrobatics.
Sure.
Does that seem acrobatic-y?
Yeah, I mean that's what Alar's doing. He's you know,
Okay. Then that will be a 14 plus 2. So that is a 16.
Just makes it. Okay, so you take 2 descent marks. Alrighty.
my perception was a
perceiving, right?
28. Yep, 28.
Oh, a 28. Okay. Roll a d10. Yeah, roll a d10.
Ten.
10. Okay. You, as you are descending, you get like you get plinked in the head, like as you're like pencil skydiving. Something like donks you, and you're like ah! But as it like sort of like flips off your forehead, you catch like a glint of metal, and you just sort of instinctively like grab it. And you look, and you are holding a ring in your hand. It is like a gold band. It has a sort of like a red, vaguely glowing round stone set into the center of it.
I slip it on a finger, and I will examine it when I am not potentially
falling to your death.
Oh no, it's a ring of devouring.
Okay, cool. All right, next round. What's everybody doing?
Walter's going to try to perceive again.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to stutter step this one because I have a +2 in my best possible physical related thing. So I will perceive.
Yeah, I'll accelerate again.
Alright.
I've lowered the DC.
Brahman Rowan.
Is the perception DC 15 just flat?
No, the perception is a different
Okay.
is
I
a
got
different
12.
DC. A 12 on your perception?
Yes.
Again, you find nothing of interest.
Maelstrom.
You find chaos
I'm gonna
around you.
Since we're doing performance, I will accelerate again.
Okay, and what do you want Oz to do?
Accelerate, I think. Just get Oz down.
Okay, so Oz, Brahm, Alar are all accelerating. Walter's going to perceive. What's Rowan doing?
I'm gonna perceive.
Okay. Alrighty, let's do the accelerators first so that we can get that moving. So we're going to roll for Oz. Uh-oh, Oz. I'm going to go check his... I gotta get his...
27.
Alright, so Brahm, you're good.
22.
Okay, no problem there.
That's another 2.
There's another 2 down. I believe Oz failed.
Ah, crap.
I gotta find him though. View campaign. Osrius. Yeah, he only got a 15. Okay, so Oz is going to take a d12 of damage. Oz takes 5 points of bludgeoning damage as he cracks into a piece of debris that he does not perceive. So Brahm, as you like accelerate, you and Oz are kind of neck and neck for a while, and you like descend, but you hear like a and he like hurtles like up, and you descend beyond him as he hits something, and you gain on him. So Brahm, you're at 8 of 10. Osrius is, you know what?
He's at 6 because he did 4
He's
with
at 6,
Braum,
yeah, but he failed
and then
that one.
2, and then he just failed this one, so he's still at 6.
Okay. Let's go. Okay, so the perceivers. What are the perception rolls?
I had a 12.
He had a 12 and saw nothing. I got a 17.
17 and Alar.
Oh, I accelerated.
Oh,
I
you
made
accelerated.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
Only
at.
2.
Okay, so you're
He's
at
at
4.
Mhm.
With a 17, you do spot something again, Rowan. Roll a d10.
Hold on, I need a staff of perception.
That's a 2.
You see as you are like descending down. You see what looks to be there's like a bunch of like barrels kind of scattered, and you have to quick like weave through them as you're going down. You sort of like pull up a little bit as you get in the vicinity of those to like kind of get your bearings, as like a bunch of the contents of the barrels like seem to spill out. And you see as you like pull up, there is like a compared to everything else that like spilled out of these barrels, which is like a long since essentially like disintegrated to like mummified whatever it was that was in there. There is like a fist-sized leather bag tied with a string, kind of like near your head, that still seems to be like more intact than it should be. So you're able to just snatch that. Okay.
You'll make a thief in no time.
I can only do it when no one's watching except you guys.
Next, well, in fairness, y'all definitely cannot see each other at this point. Like you're like way scattered through this debris field. So your secret is safe for now. All right, next round. What's everybody doing?
We are accelerating. Is it still a -5 for
Yep,
perceiving?
yep. You get your since you perceived last time. You can take your -5.
Unfortunately, I super have to do that.
Super
I'm
have to,
going to fail all of these and just die on my way down. I'm just gonna ragdoll.
You can
Going to
maneuver.
perceive
That only
again.
makes it a DC 10. That's not too bad. You're gonna perceive again.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, because I want to perceive a bunch.
You also
I skipped your cool prophetic thing, so I.
I'm gonna go for it. And
You're gonna accelerate and try and get to the ground.
hopefully.
Alrighty, DC 20.
More than enough.
I wish I accelerated.
Over a 30.
Did you
Oh,
nat 20?
shit.
No, but I have a plus
I think
12.
Alar nat 20s.
Yes.
Oh, that's
But he
very good.
perceived.
That's very good. I have special stuff for if you nat 20 on a perceive. All right, let's do him last.
See the face of God.
Walter is also perceiving.
Walter also saw the face of God, just the wrong one. I rolled
Walter's
a 10
accelerating.
on my accelerating.
Oh,
He
you
perceived
accelerated?
last round. He perceived last round. He said he can't perceive
I already
twice.
perceived the last time.
Oh,
so
so
I accelerated
you.
this time. So I just
Walter's gonna.
No,
jump
but your
on
DC. Oh, your DC
No,
was
you
a 15. You failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fell.
yeah.
All right, you take You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you want to handle
Please?
Tides of Chaos in this situation?
Oh god.
Are you gonna do magic?
I'm close to him. I'm concerned.
I feel like in the chaos that already exists, and Walter
There's a tide.
like smashing in, but so like as written, it just gives you advantage on an ability check,
Sure.
right? And then like you can make me roll on the Wild Magic Surge table after I cast a first level spell. That's how it's written.
Sure.
But if I already have advantage, I can't get double advantage unless I can, and there's side effects. How, like, that's just it. How do you want to handle that? I can either not use it because it doesn't do anything for me right now, or I can use it for shenanigans because shenanigans are fun.
I mean, I'm fine with shenanigans. I don't double advantage is fine for me. You can roll another
Okay.
another.
I'm gonna roll
with your
one more
dex.
d20,
Okay.
and then you tell me what happens.
Okay.
So far, my high roll is a 10. My high roll is still a 10.
Okay. So you take 6 bludgeoning damage, and also you wild magic.
Oh boy. Okay.
It could help. You know, you never know.
Look. All right. Wild magic is a d100.
Wild magic's a D100.
What if he gets blink and just blinks all the way down to the bottom?
Oh no.
Be hilarious.
What did you get?
What'd you roll?
I got the magic number again. I got a 41. I'm pretty sure I know what that is.
So,
What was his voice again?
so Walter, nobody's there to see this as you've all scattered.
This
But
one
Walter-
again?
No, I'm at the same level as Walter. I
Okay,
was
so
probably
you,
thinking-
Rowan, make a perception check just real quick because it's pretty chaotic.
Okay. Hold on. Okay.
Also, does that happen before?
Why?
Before
Why
or
would I
after the
waste
damage?
that 20 on Walt?
Nat 20. Okay, here's what
shit.
you see. It's framed like the cinematography is perfect. We're hurtling. We're fixed on the two of you as you are descending down. So like rocks and things are whipping past frame. Rowan, Walter, you are descending. Walter descending with you. You see Walter get struck by a piece of like a jagged piece of metal. He like hits it, flips in the air, and like loses control of his fall. A big boulder like goes between the two of you, like blocking him from your sight. And when like the boulder come past, you see a potted plant is now descending.
In the background, Ave Maria starts playing.
Not that I don't want that to have happened, but
Not again, says the potted plant.
Not again. The Heartlock armor says I can't change form unwillingly. Do you just want to say that just ignores that aspect of
Here's
Heartlock
no,
armor? Chaos
hang on.
magic ignores that.
Sure,
Oh no,
sure.
is it a potted plant in a gimp suit?
I mean, I guess it is now.
Oh.
So a potted plant is falling. So here's how we'll handle that next round. We'll get there. So Rowan, what were you doing? You were perceiving, or you were accelerating?
Accelerating.
And your roll was good.
It was a 18. So I don't think I passed.
I thought
You
you
perceived last round, right? So your DC
it's
was
15.
15. So you were good. So you
Oh, okay,
accelerate
yeah.
too.
Okay. I can't keep track. I'm too worried about all of their stuff to keep track of
And
my
you
own.
wanted Oz to accelerate, right?
Yeah,
We never decided, but
Or
yeah.
No, he did, and he. I
He
thought
failed
failed
he
last
failed.
time. You have to decide what
Oh.
he's doing this round.
I think that just pisses him off. He tries it again.
He tries again. Okay. Oh no.
On my descent
Okay,
down,
he has advantage,
on
so he fails
accelerating,
again.
Can I grab the potted?
No, he's
plant
way
and
he's
hold it?
way away from you.
I tried.
He takes another 4 damage as he fails again.
Ah.
All right, we got to get him to perceive next round, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Brom, you said you were gonna accelerate, right? And Alar did a nat 20 perception, right? That's what's left to resolve.
No, yeah, no, I'm done. I made it. to the end.
You're so we'll get to you in a second because I don't want to spoil what happens at the base here. Okay, Alar, the natural 20. Roll a D2. Flip a coin.
Where the hell is? Well, I had a. Oh, that. Odds, heads, tails, even. Odd. Heads.
Okay.
Heads is odd? Oh, I guess that would be one, wouldn't it? I just thought tails is a odd number.
You are descending, and you come past a piece of what appears to be like a piece of like decking from like a ship, and as you're descending, you're kind of trying to find ways to like control your descent. So you're dropping down. You're sort of like parkouring off of stuff sometimes, you pass this piece of decking, and there is a massive like a ballista bolt stuck into it. And you like momentarily like land on this ballista bolt and use it to like change your direction. But as you land, you see that like fluttering, like pinned by the point of this ballista bolt to the decking of the ship is like a long black cloak. And you are easily able to just like reach out and you kind of just like pluck at it and it comes free. And it feels, it's really like got a weird texture. It doesn't feel like cloth, like material. It feels almost like liquid in your hand, even though you see that it is solid, and you're able to like kind of tuck that under your arm and continue your descent.
Okay. Black liquid float. All right.
Alrighty. Next round.
Acceleration.
Alrighty.
Do I have agency as a potted plant?
Nope. I'll tell you what happens to you in a second.
Made the check.
Okay.
21. So 6.
6. Rome, what are you doing?
I will descend. I will accelerate.
Alrighty, good. Roll.
I want to get out of this. I don't like it. That is, my God, barely a 20.
Okay. So you're also at 6.
Okay.
So Walter, here's what's going to happen. As you have no agency as a potted plant, but you are still under the effects of this magic. You automatically descend by 2 this round.
Hooray!
Just because the pot falls.
I did it.
But what happens is the pot just falls until it hits something. So you, as a potted plant, collide with a big rock. The potted plant shatters, and then you turn back into you, and are now falling again. It sort of works in your favor, right?
I have a bonus question. Technically, Tides of Chaos does recharge once it's used. Or do I have to cast? Do you want me to cast a spell first?
I think you need to cast a spell for us to trigger it, to give you like you have to.
Okay. Yeah, like technically the wild magic surge is like the negative consequence of getting the advantage.
Right.
But it's fine. I don't know what I can.
Or no, I mean, like if you want to give yourself advantage again with the Tides of Chaos, you can keep doing that, and I'll keep making you roll on the wild magic table.
Oh shit!
I'm fine with that.
Like,
that's hilarious.
Advantage all the way down, my guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's hilarious.
How many times are we gonna be potted
If we
plant?
turn into a potted plant for a third time, we have to just end.
We do have to end the stream. Yeah, I will say that. There won't be a sign off. There won't be anything. If he rolls a 41 again, I'm just gonna hit end stream, and that's gonna be it for the night.
So
Master's
it can
gonna
also be a 42.
turn his computer off.
I'm just gonna unplug my internet.
We also need to mention that Oz finds 10 gold in the process of getting hurt.
Of course he does.
Yeah, he's blue and has red shoes all of a sudden.
Okay, I totally lost track of where we are. We're on the beginning of a new round, right?
Yes.
Oh, no, you got to decide.
I am going to perceive this time.
Okay.
I'm going to Tides of Chaos it. So I have regular advantage, not double advantage.
So you're using Tides of Chaos on your perception?
Perception. Yes. Because Walter's been failing miserably at trying to orient himself. He's unsuccessful. He has successfully gone down once and then turned into a plant, and then it's just a bad time. He's the pure chaotic energy of I just need to get to the ground.
Okay, so but I mean, just so we're clear, using the Tides of Chaos on this perception does not help you in your descent. It just helps you with this search for a fancy item. You have to use the Tides of Chaos next round.
But also, he wants the minus.
Fair enough.
Mechanically, I want the -5. And also, I kind of want cool shit. But,
that's fine.
Walter's going to call upon the power of just getting to the ground. He wants to find a safer way. So
yeah, so something about the chaos energy of the magic in here is essentially just as soon as you call on this power, you wild magic and it recharges. You kind of get the sense that like once you hit the ground and you're out of this storm, it's probably not going to keep working like that. But I do like the idea. I do like the idea of just doing this the whole way down. All right, so go ahead and roll your perception.
All right.
I will perceive again because I think that's Alar's strategy.
God damn.
Map the route,
Yeah.
accelerate.
Rowan's also gonna perceive, and I
Okay.
think we should make Oz perceive so he gets a lower DC since he's been.
My highest roll was a 5.
Yikes! You perceive nothing still.
I perceive the chaotic energy that's about to end my life.
So everyone's perceiving. Walter saw nothing.
Oz gets
No,
it.
Walter sees violence. Walter sees
Yeah.
violence. That's all he sees. He doesn't see
Nothing
anything
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Just sees violence. Oh yeah. Let me see what my D100 is.
I don't see anything cool that round either.
Okay.
I got a 10, so
21. Thank you, plus 10 perception.
So
Walter does see something. Illusory butterflies and flower petals flutter in the air within 10 feet of you for the
good.
next
All right.
minute.
Well, now you're falling with style too. So you can here. You know what? Now you're falling with style like Brahm. So now you can use your charisma on your next. Your
Oh
next
jeez,
descent.
I'll
descent.
performance check that.
Sure, why not? Who gives a shit?
I
Okay.
would like to have one successful
So,
roll today.
Alar, instead of an item, here's what you see this round with your perception. You see Oz is, as he's descending, he's like battered. There is a vicious crack of lightning that arcs from the inside of this like storm wall. And you see Oz's head like snaps to the side in the direction this lightning struck, and it kind of causes you to like to turn and follow. And you would swear, for a split second, you see like a figure, the silhouette of a figure inside the raging like wall of the storm itself. And as Oz is like descending, he kind of like flips over. So now he's falling, and you're like looking down at him, looking up, but he's not looking at you. He's staring at that spot where that lightning flashed, and you see like a grimace come over his face as he decides something, and you watch the like crackles in his stone flesh all flare blue in a similar color to like the crack of lightning, and with a burst of like discharged wild magic, rage magic, he shunts himself sideways, and he like hits the storm wall of the outside of this eye and disappears into the storm. And you like hurtle past where you saw him vanish.
I'm pretty sure even over the sound of the storm, everyone hears Alar cry out.
shit, we lost our barbarian.
Okay. Run a new round, right?
Yep.
All right. Oz is now out of the initiative. Brahm, you're already on the ground. Alar, Rowan, and Walter.
We're doing it. Double advantage. Trying to go down.
Are you trying to accelerate, or are you trying to do a maneuver? DC for a maneuver.
Does
Maneuver.
maneuver go down at all?
Yes. You go
One.
down by 1 instead of 2.
Oh.
But the DC
Then-
for you would be a 10
Okay.
because you perceived last.
I'm
round.
still okay. With regular acrobatics, I can't do that. I mean, I'm going to have to double advantage anyway, and also it's funny. With performance, I could probably push trying to accelerate.
Okay. Go for it.
So I'm going to accelerate. I'm going to use performance for reasons unknown to me.
Unknown to anyone.
With double advantage, so I don't have to worry about possibly missing it, even though I definitely will. And 1 wild magic surge. Sound
All
good?
right.
Sound good.
Yes. So give me your roll, and then tell me what you roll on the wild magic table, and I'll look it up.
I rolled a 26
Nice.
because I rolled 3 things that were all over 15. And my wild magic number is 53.
With a 53. Huh. You can't tell if anything happens in particular.
Okay.
Although, go ahead and roll 5d6 for me real quick.
I don't like the way that sounds.
While he's doing that, what are Alar and Rowan doing?
20?
I'm
20?
Yep.
Okay,
5d6,
just write that.
20.
Just write that 20 down.
Yeah, I'll write. That's a thing I can do with things that I have.
Alar accelerated.
Okay.
So the DC was a 15. He made a 19.
All right, so you descend
So-
2 more.
Yep.
So you're at 8
Now 8 of
descents.
10. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Rowan.
Rowan also succeeds on the accelerate after the perception last round.
Okay, so you are also at an 8 of 10.
8%.
So I'm at -4 currently.
You're at -6 currently.
I'm at -6 because I succeeded in my.
Because you got 2 successes as a potted plant.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
Well, he accelerate. No,
I had one successful
you were at-
accelerate, one regular accelerate as a potted plant where I just went down by 2, and then
This one, giving him
And
6.
then this one,
you
so
shoveled
it's-
away for 2 on an
Yeah,
accelerate.
Shoveled away for 2, potted planted for 2,
That's 2.
and then this
and then
accelerate
this
gives
one
him
I
6.
just succeeded.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm at -6. Okay.
Okay.
And for reasons unknown, I have a 20 on a 5d6.
Nice. next round.
One last perception to
Okay.
map that.
These are, I will tell you, I don't know if I've made that clear yet, but like the perception thresholds are getting higher as you guys get lower to the ground.
That's fine.
That tracks. Yep. Well, tides of chaos perception, boys.
Sure.
I got a +0. Oh, I got a 19 this time.
19, okay.
I see
28.
Maelstrom.
28. Okay.
Yeah.
Rowan's just going to accelerate and try to hit ground.
Okay.
Oh, and my D100 is 5.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
I got,
oh
I got
my
a 21,
God.
Okay, so Rowan,
athletics to hit the ground.
you are done. You succeed. Alar, your perception check. A 19 is just high enough at this point. In the,
28.
Oh, a 28.
you were-
Oh, she got the 19.
Walter got the 19.
Walter got the 19. The 19 is
Walter
just
got
high
a 19 for perception.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, both of you roll a d10.
Okay.
D10.
I got a 2, which I think I already got. taken.
Yeah, reroll.
3.
I also
Okay.
just rolled a 2, so I will reroll.
Reroll again.
0. Or
10.
in this case.
That-
You got to reroll.
that was
already-
taken.
Yeah. that was
Yeah.
rerolled.
All right. 1.
A 1. You guys both just like happen to like kind of snatch something as you go past. Walter, you snatch a wand,
Wand.
and
Is it cursed and evil like the first one I ever found?
I mean you found it, so probably.
That tracks.
Alar, you grab the hilt of a sword.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Okay.
All right.
So just Walter and Alar, right?
Yep. One last acceleration.
You're not gonna tell me what that 5 did?
Oh shit, yeah. The other thing you perceive is that like what appears next to you, like in a poof, a like cantaloupe-sized bronze little sphere with one big eyeball and like a couple of spindly arms and legs appears next to you.
Is he also falling?
Yo, yeah. And he doesn't have the benefit of the shovel or the magic, so he appears and then like you like look at each other and he's very confused and then immediately just like drops like hurtles away from you, and like 2 seconds later you see him just like hit a rock and just like shatters in like an explosion of like metal and springs and gears. And that is a series premiere and a series wrap on the Modron for this campaign. so Motron appears, immediately
that's
dies.
the second time I've willed a Modron into existence. Like, just across campaigns in general.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so next round, what are you guys both doing?
I'm going to maneuver since I
Accelerate.
figured out that lets me go down.
Aylar's
I'm
going to
still
accelerate to try and finish.
I'm
So
still-
go ahead and
I'm
roll
still-
your thing, Aylar.
With advantage, I make the 20, so I nail the dismount.
You are done. Okay.
You know what?
Um,
I'm also I'm not. Yeah, I have to maneuver. I feel like every time Walter's trying to like get down by going fast, like he just bounces off stuff.
Sure.
He's just bad at it. So I will try to maneuver this time, with Tides of Chaos
Okay.
for double advantage because I want to see how many times I can roll on the Wild Magic table in one
Yeah,
game. It's the last time I'll be able to do it because Pat's done with this shenanigans.
that's right.
Am I still using performance for this because reasons?
Yeah, because we got to finish before midnight. So we got to get you to the ground.
Okay, so it's 26 again.
Okay, so you accelerate.
And
Nice.
I'm accelerating.
Okay.
And my D100 roll is a 1.
I've
I've never rolled a 1 on a Wild Magic Surge table before. I don't think I've ever rolled a 1 with a D100
Boy,
before.
that sure is irrelevant considering the bullshit that we're doing right now. What happens on a 1 or a 2 on the Wild Magic table is that you must roll on this table at the start of each of your turns for the next minute. Which really doesn't change anything about what we're doing here, does it, huh? I mean, I guess it does make you roll on the Wild Magic table before you see whether you are able to do your perception or maneuver check. So that might change the outcome.
You want me to
No,
roll it
so that's
twice in a round?
next round that'll happen, right? So this is your perception round. So that's what happens. What was your perception? Or no, this is your maneuver.
This is my maneuver.
Or no, you accelerated.
Yeah, sure. I'll accelerate.
So you're at 8.
'Cause,
So
we
you're at
want
8,
to
so-
wrap this up. So I'm
Okay.
trying to accelerate. So -8 now.
This is getting so confusing. Okay, so yes, it is the beginning of a new round now, and you do need to
I feel
immediately
like
roll again
anybody
on the
that's
Wild Magic table.
anybody that's landed and hit the 10 threshold is like looking up waiting for Walter. It's just like pops of fucking
Yeah,
magic
it's
going
just like
up all over the
magic
maelstrom.
bullshit, just like all the way down. So go ahead and roll on the Wild Magic table before we determine what happens in your next turn.
50 flat.
I mean, like, odds are like something terrible has to happen the amount of times. Okay.
I mean, I still rolled 5d6 for reasons I don't know.
Sure. Go ahead and roll your. What are you doing? Are you perceiving this round, or are you?
I'm gonna try to perceive one more time.
Okay, so
before
go ahead and
I,
roll your
I'm
perception.
Presumably land. With advantage because of bullshit. But I've already rolled my wild magic for this turn, so I'm not gonna tie.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? How? Hey, you know what terrible thing happened? I rolled 2 3s.
Ooh, well, could have been worse. Could have been a 1. Something real bad happens if you roll a 1.
All right, and then
Okay,
I'm
so you
st-
fail to perceive anything. You like go to look around, you don't see a path forward, and you kind of like get frustrated, and you go to like make a noise of frustration, and when you open your mouth, instead of sound, like a whole spew of like pink bubbles just come like.
Oh no.
That does
All right.
mean not that it seems to be mattering right now, but anything with vocal components, with verbal components, you're unable to do for the next minute.
Okay.
Okay. Next round, roll. Roll on your wild magic table again.
27.
27. Okay. Your spells with a casting time of 1 action have a casting time of a bonus action. Should you?
Good. The only spell I have that has no verbal components is Mold Earth. I'm in the air.
Sure. That's interesting.
Yet again, I've been screwed out of Mold Earth.
Roll your. Hang on, though. Roll your. What are you doing? Are you accelerating?
I did my last perceive. I'm probably just going to accelerate to get to the ground.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your check to accelerate.
Roll my
And here's what I'll do. If you fail, I'll give you a potential option.
I rolled a 26 again because God hates me and wants
you're
me to
good.
suffer.
I want to say you do it anyway because it's the only thing you can do, right? And it's a bonus action. You like definitely are about to plow into a boulder that's like big enough that it will for sure kill you to death. And you panic, bubbles like spewing out of your mouth. You panic like you just mold earth like this and like turn the boulder into a donut. You just move all the earth out of the way and you shoot you thread the needle right through it. Okay. So here's what happens is you have now.
You also had gotten a proficiency bonus from Dogs for Life.
Sure. I will use that on the next non-Maelstrom thing that I have opportunity to do. The next roll I have, actually, you know what? The next roll I have of any kind, I will use that on that.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
So, you don't actually hit the ground as the result of this this skill check game we've been doing.
Sure.
But kind of one after the other, you all sort of reach the same point. As you get lower and you begin to see through the debris field, you see that there is a singular structure jutting out of the ocean below you. The waters of the ocean are turbulent and lashing against the sides of this structure. It is a several 100-foot tall, twisted spire of stone and crystal that have been seemingly woven together in like an organic fashion. You see as you get closer that it is clear that there is like some sort of intent behind the shape of this structure. It's not a naturally occurring formation. It was shaped. It was crafted somehow. It is pretty clearly, as you get towards it, like a shattered piece of something much larger, but what the original form, the original structure of this thing might have looked like, you can't really tell. Like you're looking at this thing and it's like looking at a painting through a keyhole. You can only see a tiny bit of it and you can't make out what the whole thing might have looked like. But as you descend, when you get to a certain point, you like descend beneath the tip of this jagged outcropping of rock and begin to like descend towards the lashing waves and the crushing rocks below. And as you get down, the surface of this structure itself like begins to ripple and mold, and a passageway like irises open seemingly of its own accord. And you feel the magic of the Star Spire's like teleportation like tug and curve at your direction and like draw you into this opening. And you all, one by one, with the exception of Osrius, who disappeared into the storm, are drawn into this structure. And as you pass within, Brahm, you're the first one to arrive, and a few seconds later, the others like begin to join you as you find that like once you're inside, you kind of like hover in place momentarily, and eventually the other three, sans Oz, like join you, and you guys all begin to move in unison together again, and the opening seals behind you, closing you in. And you see that you are in a cavernous sort of antechamber, and you descend and start to head through a second opening, almost like an airlock. There are ley lines of magic coursing through this entire structure. They are running through the organic stone and crystal that makes up this this piece of architecture. And Walter, in your mind, you hear, Walter Gray, you're here. I can sense that you've entered the fortress. I am holding Artanis off for as long as I can. But you're going to need to descend. Find me quickly. And that is where we'll end our session tonight.
Hey, what was that 20 for?
That is how many days that you are immune to the effects of alcohol.
Oh no! Party, join us. We're gonna drink and not get drunk.
Hey. Alrighty, well, hey, thank you guys for joining me tonight. We had our late start, our bizarre bizarre beginning to our episode. We are probably going to be late again next week. Just this is the first time you guys are hearing of this as well, but for the audience as well, we may be looking at closer to an 8 o'clock start time next week. I have a dentist appointment at 6 before stream, so we're essentially dependent on me finishing at the dentist and getting back here. So fear not, we'll be here probably at some point during next Tuesday for the next installment of our fantastical voyage into the unknown. I don't know, whatever. So thank you everybody who stuck around with us tonight. Thank you for those of you who donated to support Cardboard Castle Games and their charity event. We had some nat 20s. I didn't get to use mine because I didn't, as the DM, get to make a roll against anybody tonight. But I'll keep it in my back pocket for something.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Okay. That's okay. It can go away.
I just won't
No,
put it in
that
the
person
notes.
paid
You'll
real
forget.
human money for that. I'm gonna honor that nat 20. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you our sponsors, all that good stuff. Be sure to do all the things, like, subscribe, follow, whatever. You know what to do. You don't need me to tell you. We will see you. We'll see you next week. Bye.